Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greeting. My name is Muhammad Ikhmal bin Saari. I am BMMP student, Bachelor in Manufacturing Engineering Technology, study in Process and Technology, and today I will discuss about my final year project presentation about investigating the mechanical properties of rice husk reinforced by epoxy resin. This topic was supervised by TS Dr. KHAIRUM bin HAMZAH. Okay. This is my presentation outline, which is I will start with introduction. Next, I will go for problem statement, research objective, scope of research, and next I will continue about literature review, methodology, preliminary result, and lastly conclusion. Okay, for the introduction, rice husk is one of the natural fiber for the development of biocomposite. Nowadays, recycling natural waste-based materials has been widely used in manufacturing engineering such as sugarcane bagasse, wood dust, rice husk, and others, and it is commonly used in development of biocomposite. Natural waste will be cheap and renewable, and it can strengthen the composite while also improving its biodegradability. Okay, we can see in this picture there are three different types of rice husk properties, which is rice husk ash, and rice husk powder. And the natural fiber that I choose for this project is rice husk. Rice husk can be utilized as a filler in various polymer matrices for composite products. Okay, now I will discuss about problem statement. About 80% of rice straw industry in the world apply improper disposal management of renewable energy. And Malaysia is the one of the leading producer of paddy, and burning rice straw is still a common disposal method in Malaysia. While we think rationally, improper disposal of natural waste product can have negative consequences on the ecosystem and give an impact on the environment, such as air pollution. And lastly, most production nowadays is still unaware of the advantage of rice husk, while a production that use a combination of natural waste can save the wood population from destruction activities. Okay, next I will continue about research objective. The main objective for this project is to fabricate rice husk reinforced by epoxy resin with different ratio, and this ratio divided into 3 ratio, which is I will explain later on the scope of research. Next, to establish the standard size of specimen suitable for the mechanical testing, and lastly, to investigate the mechanical properties of rice husk reinforced by epoxy resin. Okay, next I will go for the scope of the research. Scope of the research is to fabricate the rice husk reinforced by epoxy resin, that I short form the name into RHER, and perform the fabricated materials into the testing specimen and investigate the mechanical properties of the fabricated materials using tensile, flexure, and impact test. Next, the mixing composite were fabricated using the hand layup technique to produce 3 eco-friendly ratio, which is 60% of rice husk and 40% of epoxy, 65% of rice husk and 35% of epoxy, and lastly 70% of rice husk and 30% of epoxy. The third scope is the fabricated material will be cut into the testing specimen using computer numerical control CNC rotor machine, and its mechanical properties were analyzed using tensile, flexure, and impact test. And lastly, the collected data were analyzed using statistical analysis such as Microsoft Excel, analysis of variant ANOVA, and graphical demonstration. Okay, this is some of the literature review finding that related into my final year project topic. And in this slide, I already attached with 4 different authors with their finding and research, and each of them share the same result as well. The result state the impact strength and composite hardness increase steadily when using rice husk. Rice husk also has significant contribution in improving mechanical properties. The result also show small rice husk particle improve compressive strength, puncture strength, and bulk density. And lastly, rice husk, groundnut shell, jute, which is very efficient for enhancing the property of composite. Okay, next I will continue about methodology, and in this slide I will show my process flowchart. As we can see here, firstly, rice husk will be mixed with epoxy and hardener using hand layout technique, and if the quality good, we will proceed with cutting process using CNC rotor machine. Next, we will go for the mechanical testing, divided into 3 testing, which is tensile testing, flexural testing, and impact testing. And we do some statistical analysis. And from the result, if the data analysis is good, we will go for the conclusion and end out the process. Okay, in this slide, it will show the standard size of sample that gonna be proceed in this final year project. Okay, for the first picture, it shows the sample size for tensile and flexural test. And the second picture, it shows the sample size for impact test. Okay, for the tensile samples, we will use universal testing machine in accordance ASTM D3039 with 120 mm wide times with 20 mm length and 3 mm thickness. The quantity for tensile sample will be 15 samples for those 3 ratio. Next, for flexural samples, we also use universal testing machine in accordance ASTM D790 with 120 mm wide times with 20 mm length and 3 mm thickness. Also, we will produce 15 pieces for those 3 ratio. And finally, for impact samples, we will use choppy impact testing in accordance ASTM D256 with 55 mm wide times with 12.5 mm length and 10 mm thickness. And the sample for those 3 ratio will be 15 samples. For total sample is gonna be 45 pieces samples. Okay, for preliminary result, in my assumption, the outcomes will be demonstrated that the composite with 70% rice husk had a better mechanical behavior than other composite. It was recommended for lightweight and intermediate application because of the simultaneous effect of reinforced composite. In this slide, I already stated that 70% of rice husk will be better in tensile strength and modulus than other composite. Next, I also state that the impact and hardness performance of 70% of rice husk composite will prove to be better than other composite. Finally, we go for the conclusion. To achieve all the project goals, all of these procedures and preparation must be completed correctly and in accordance with the process planning. Every planning, approach, and preparation will have a considerable impact on achieving the desired outcomes and result by the end of this chapter. And finally, all the methods must be followed exactly and without error in order to achieve good result from this test. I think that's all from me. Thank you.